Part 2. Read. Okay. In an act of rebellion, young Jessamine Colwyn chose Corvo as her royal protector when Corvo was 19 and she was 12. He served her loyally as a bodyguard, courier, and some say spy, before and after she was crowned empress. Though it was scandalous gossip at the time, it is said they began a love affair around 1823 when Jessamine was 18 and Corvo 25. The next chapter of Atano's life is like something out of a legend. During the time of the Rat Plague, when the Empress fell, Corvo was accused of regicide and sentenced for execution. He was thrown into Coldbridge prison and publicly reviled. He escaped, and as part of a small conspiracy dedicated to throwing down the tyrannical Lord Regent, Corvo struck back at the people who killed the Empress and who wronged him. As the Lord Regent fell, the loyalist conspiracy turned on Corvo, poisoning him. Surviving through some inner resilience, he located the true assassin of the Empress and fought his way out of the flooded district. Corvo eventually cornered the last of the loyalists on Kingsbarrow Island at the Burrows Lighthouse and rescued Emily Colwyn, heir to the throne. The romantic involvement between Corvo Atano and the Empress Jessamine Colwyn was a terribly kept court secret, and thus it is widely held that Emily Colwyn is their daughter. Following the interregnum, Corvo watched over Emily as she began to rule the Empire of the Isles. Okay, so we know a little bit of the background story now. For those of us who never actually finished the first game. Samuel Beechworth carving.
Old Samuel made this. I'm glad he didn't live to see me driven out of Dunwall Tower.
What's this then? Map. Serkonos in the south, Dunwall, that's where we are now. Bristol, Morley, Tevia. So our sweetheart is in Morley, I think it was, yeah? Check this, audiograph.
Emily, my daughter, I know that one day you'll be grown up, and I wonder what you'll remember of these years. Will you recall your time as a child with fondness? Or were there too many caretakers, formal dinners, and lessons about boring old history? Maybe the precious hours we spent together will shine brighter. Time captured now and then with your mother and with Corvo, who was always close to my heart. I hope the season of rats and plague will be nothing more than a passing shadow on your early memories. A crisis come and past, weathered by your mother and her advisors. You'll sit on the throne someday, and will do well, I hope. It's a tricky life, full of responsibility and peril. It was not your choice to be the daughter of an empress, but I believe you'll rise to the challenge. Stay good-hearted, Emily. Keep drawing and telling stories, and only share your power with those you truly trust.
If only I could talk to my mother one more time.
Yeah, it's cool that we have these audiographs, but I always wonder when I listen to audiographs in games that, like, what is the logic behind them? Why would anybody even think of, like, oh, I want to record a tape for someone that I see every day. I mean, she doesn't know that she will be murdered when she records this tape. So she can't assume that, oh, I will never talk to my daughter. Let's make an audio tape for her. Let's check this.
The reserves won't help against Delilah, even if I had a way to carry it all out of here.
Well, if we can carry this, gold ingot.
This could be handy.
150 gold. Sculpture. Anything up here? Can we climb up? Nope. Nothing. Nothing. I think that's it in here. Ramsey, could you polish the gold for us while we're gone? So, right. Let's leave this place, shall we? Go to Dunwall Streets. Here we go. A long day in Dunwall. Delilah and Duke Luca Abele have taken the tower. Dunwall is no longer a safe place for you. Escape the city by meeting with a boat captain down at the docks.
Until I understand this, I have to go into hiding. I should make my way to the docks.
Yeah, let me check something. Settings. Nope. Wait. Don't want those things. Options. Gameplay. Difficulty. Head bob. Kill cam. Hood. Crosshair style. Simple. What's simple? That's what I wanted to know. Back. Apply settings. Yes. Okay. Back. Okay, great. Because I don't like those arches next to or those like brackets on the left and right of the crosshair. So what do we have here? Ooh, another book. Old history textbook. Chapter 12. The Whaling Trade. In 1631, Emperor Finlay Morgengard commissioned the first fleet of vessels made expressly for the hunting and processing of whales. They were powered by sails alone, and so were at the mercy of the winds. Although these whaling ships were small by current standards, Morgengard's fleet established the robust whaling trade we still enjoy today. Modern whaling vessels are much larger and use steam power to traverse the seas in search for whales. Did you know that every part of the beast is used? In addition to canned meat and whale oil, there is also a flourishing whalebone trade. Baleen is used in roofing. Whale skins are processed into crude cloth. Bladders are made into wine flasks. Even the intestines are carefully harvested for their precious ambergris, used in many medicines and perfumes. Handwritten notes at the end of the chapter. Emily, half of Morgengard's whalers fell to the rough coast east of Morley. You can still see the remains of the ships poking out of the water should you ever visit Iran. Also, there is no mention here that it was Sokolov himself who designed the first steam-powered whaling ships. He'll tell you all about it if you ask, and he's sober. So Sokolov is a drunkard. I see.
What would my old governess say? Callista would probably tell me to sit up straight and to marry Wyman. She'd ask me when the War of the Four Crowns ended. 1625.
So we were a good study. What's in here? The Tower of Dunwall. Excerpt on a historical examination of Dunwall Tower. For over a century, Dunwall Tower has been the capital of the Isle of Crystal and the seat of power across all the isles of the Empire. Rulers have come and gone, each adding something to the structure. Gardens, observatories, new walls, pools, and specialized interior chambers to suit their needs and whims. Dunwall Tower has withstood numerous wars, several large-scale fires, and the collapse and rebuilding of the northern wing. With Tivia and Serkonos joining the empire first, it was Morley that resisted longest. Some of the conflicts that arise also necessitate the further fortification of the tower. Repeated assassination attempts near the end of the conflict with Morley resulted in the creation of the Royal Protector position, with each ruler choosing his or her own Royal Protector after careful consideration. Well, we didn't really consider, we were told. Empress Jessamine Caldwin, excerpt from a book on the late Empress. Perhaps in retrospect, other historians will see how easy it was for us to fall into the traps set by the schemers who managed the assassination of Empress Jessamine Caldwin. By allowing them to write history, it was for years thought that her trusted protector Corvo Attano was also her murderer. A concept we now know to be utterly false, yet even after the tricksters themselves were put down, banished or imprisoned, it remained common knowledge that the Royal Protector was also Jessamine's murderer. How nicely they arranged history for us, and how readily we devoured their stories, hungry for each perfectly cooked morsel. But it is well past time for us to set aside this plate of lies. The schemers were not to be trusted with the Empire or with Jessamine's life, and they are certainly not to be trusted with the writing down of accurate history. Just so you know, I think there will be a lot of reading now in the beginning, but then as we get into the game itself, there will be less. Okay, peek. The coast is clear. Open.
Gotta get out of Dunwall.
Wow. This view always strikes me. It's oof. Let's see over here. So cool. Really cool.